What's going on, everyone? Brooke Kinnick here, founder of the High Ticket Ecom Incubator. And today we're here with Ryan. I think Ryan is the second, I guess third. Jack and Joel did a second interview as well. But the second store, I guess, to do a second interview and our fastest Hall of Fame member. So Hall of Fame means $1 million in under a year. So welcome, Ryan. How are you, man?
Very well. Thanks for having me, and it's an honor to join the club.
Good stuff. I think you're the fourth or fifth now. Jack, Joel, Cabrin, fourth. So last time we spoke, I think it was October 23rd. And I think you had joined the program in a couple weeks before that. And you had a really hot start. I think you'd hit 100K in your first couple weeks. And obviously now, why don't you tell the listeners what you've done since then, which is literally, it's hard to even, hard, people won't believe me if I say it. So let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. So officially crossed the $1 million mark in total sales in our first, or sorry, not our first full month, our third full month. We did over 100K our first full month, and then did two consecutive months of right around 500K.
That's insane, man. Congratulations. I think you're the first person I've ever seen have a faster start than I did. I think I did 170 my first month and then 250 my second. So you smoked me, which is cool. That's awesome to hear.
I
Um,
appreciate it. No, and there's a ton of good mentors in the group, and I've kind of just soaked it in, and learned a lot from you, obviously, and everybody else in there. So it's been a great journey overall. Just trying to keep my sanity.
Of course. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But with so obviously you've scaled super fast. What has the AOV been? Like, are you selling super high volume items that are a little bit cheaper, or do you have like super high AOV and you're able to scale with less orders, less customers?
Sure. AOV is right around 1,500 bucks. We do have some orders that come through that are, upwards of 20 to 30K, and some of those have been more B2B type sales. And then
Yep.
also, individuals that are just placing large orders. So there hasn't been a trend that I can really identify at the moment, just because it's been such a short amount of time. Um, really just trying to provide the best customer service, and let the chips fall where they may.
So with the B2B side of things, have you put any strategy in place to do that, or are those just coming through ads, like same channels as B2C?
Yeah, so same channels as B2C. B2B is definitely going to be more of a focus in 2024, just because that is a huge market for my industry, and it's also kind of where the industry is going. So without a doubt, trying to spend less money on ads in 2024, and just figure out new strategies, how to get people, through the door without, spending a ton of money on ads.
Yeah, makes complete sense. So with the sales to this point, has it been with the brands you have on? Has it been a couple that have really been a large majority of the sales, or has it been pretty evenly distributed? I think if I remember correctly, last time we spoke, it was pretty evenly distributed early on. Has that changed?
Yeah, so the first month, we really had two or three brands that were driving sales. Over the last 2 months, it's been five to six. So we've had two of those brands really come out of the shadows, and one of which became our best seller across the entire store, which is pretty incredible. And all of those sales occurred within the last 2 months.
Damn. Are they like? Are they? Have they said anything to you? Like, what are you? How the hell are you doing this? Like, are they surprised with how quickly it's happened?
One did say that we're putting a lot of stress on their warehouse team just because of the volume of orders. Uh, but I told them, look, this is what you guys signed up for. So you're going the full distance with us, or we can't sell your stuff.
Yeah, I guess if I own whatever brand that is, I would love for you to put tons of stress on my warehouse team. That's the best kind of stress you can put on them.
Yeah, I did send them a
So
big
what?
box of C's candy, so they're not going to hate me too much.
Good stuff, man. Um, so with the Google Ads, I know I've been back and forth with you a few times on your on Slack, but how has the distribution been for your? I know, like, let's say, I know attribution isn't great on Google, unfortunately, but out of those sales that are actually attributed in the account, has it been a nice mix between search, shopping, display, or is one kind of leading the charge, so to speak? I know you've had quite a lot of success with the dynamic search ads, right?
Yep. So that has been very successful for us. We're obviously putting a ton of our budget into the low shopping, but have been
Yep.
experimenting with dynamic search on a brand level. That actually has been, a big point of discussion for us just because that specific campaign leads to a huge increase in inbound calls, right? And when that campaign is actually on, it's almost an unmanageable amount of incoming leads, whether it be on Tidio, through calls, emails. It just seems to drive traffic through the roof. So it's more so a managing, it's more so a balancing act of managing all of those leads. Whereas shopping seems to be people that are more willing to just execute the transaction without any help at all.
Makes sense. That's exactly what I would guess. Just because obviously, like when you think of the funnel, like shopping people are right at the bottom. Like they're the best type of people you can possibly get on your store, but there's only so many of them. So to scale,
Right.
you do have to work your way up a bit. And like you said, yeah, it sounds like you're thinking of it correctly. It's kind of I guess last time we spoke, you were very involved with almost everything, which I think is 100% the right thing to do early on. Have you made any hires yet, or are you still managing all of this yourself?
We did hire a email and SMS agency. Those guys are absolute killers,
Right.
so it's been a pleasure to work with them so far. They've taken a ton of stress off of me, which has been great. And again, it's just additional leads that we're not having to spend, Google Ads and Bing Ads money on. So it's been a win-win at this point, and it was really just the most logical hire. I think that for any high ticket e-commerce store, you really do need to focus on email and SMS, because a lot of the folks that buy these products are on the older side, and they do love to still read their emails. Some of which have gotten a little pissed off at the SMS, but nonetheless, that's been a great strategy for us as well.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I was talking to someone about this yesterday. With high ticket ecom specifically, I think ads are great to start, and I think you can scale ads pretty high. Like I think you can get to 500K, even above that ads. But to get to 10x that, you really need to build up the email list on like a longer time frame. Because when you have like for most e-commerce stores, the most valuable thing they have is an email list. Like if you have 300,000 people who like your niche on an email list, like you can't even really quantify how valuable that is. But obviously that takes time to build up, but that's kind of the way to really scale in my mind. That and SEO. Have you started thinking about so obviously you've made the email hire, and obviously the more your list grows, the more valuable having Connor and his team run that will become, the bigger the list is. I guess two questions. Are you doing anything specifically to build the list? So do you just have like a general pop-up, or are you running any giveaways to help build the list? Or what's been your strategy there to capture emails?
It's been a mixed bag. So it's been everything from running a pop-up as soon as people land on the site with a discount code. We've also done some mining of different contacts from, high net worth organizations, people that have donated to, different foundations that apply to my business. And that's actually a strategy that I used at one of my previous professions. And in that previous job, we had grown an email list to over 100,000 people. And that's my goal with this business as well, is to eventually get it to 100,000. Because when you have a list that's that size, you have so many people that are ready to, not only engage with your content, but also make purchases. Um,
Yep.
One other thing that we've really had a heavy focus on has been telling the story of the brand. So getting people
Yep.
familiar with myself, our experience, just so they start to see our name a bit more frequently, opposed to us just sending out product offers, which is a bit in your face before they even know the brand or who you are, what you stand for.
Yeah, I think that's super smart. I think that's That's the way to build a brand, right? It's not just products, especially with our model is the strongest ones have a story of some kind. And with that, do you see yourself like launching your own products on this store anytime soon, or do you want to do that at all, or would you want to do it separately?
It's an interesting conversation because we have a handful of brands right now that do very well for us. And if I were to launch my own product, I would have to feel very confident that I could get that product out and not burn the bridge with some of these other brands just because they're so
Yeah.
incredibly reputable within my industry. So it's an ongoing thought. My idea in terms of rolling out our own products is to start a bit smaller, a bit more niche, and then eventually work our way into the much higher ticket items. Because at least if I go in with a smaller size product in terms of the ticket size, it's a bit more repairable in the sense that if it doesn't work, I don't lose the relationships that I currently have that make up a large amount of my sales.
I think there's one store I'm thinking of. You probably will know who I'm referring to, but they do this, I think. Do you know what I mean? They have their own product, but it's only lower ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I know what you mean. I think that's a good idea. And speaking of that store, um, I believe a lot of their sales come from SEO. I think they have a super strong SEO game. Is that something you've looked into at all yet, or is it in the plans, or are you just going to focus on paid and email for now?
Definitely more SEO. We shot a product review video for not a lower ticket item, I'd call it a medium ticket item, and we've sold multi-hundred of those products after we rolled out the product review video. So that was a huge success for us. Everybody knows that, people love to consume content, and I think if you can do that through YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I think that's the best SEO, right? Opposed to, I've already optimized all the product pages, all the meta descriptions. So that's kind of done. The next focus for me is going to be on producing content. And again, just like having my expertise come through the brand of the store, because I really want to be able to say, I'm the expert in everything that we're selling, and just be able to speak the language on a really high level.
With that video that you had success with, where did you launch it? Did you do YouTube or did you just do it on the website? How did that video specifically drive sales? Was it on a certain platform?
Yeah, so it's on YouTube and then it's also on the product page underneath the description.
Awesome. Cool. That's so cool, man. Especially because I know you are a legit expert in your space, which I think gives you leverage by doing that stuff. Because there's nothing people want to buy more from than someone that they know their personality, they like, who's actually an expert who has a product that they can buy from. You know what I mean?
100%.
Cool. Um, so a lot of the big increase was leading up to Christmas. Has it been pretty consistent for you afterwards? Or have it, I know now would technically probably be, if I was guessing, it would probably Jan, Feb, March would probably be down months for you, or has it not been the case?
So the 31st was one of our biggest days ever, shockingly enough. It was crazy, all up until Christmas. And yesterday was very strong as well, the first of the year. So, I'm just kind of here along for the ride and seeing where this thing goes. I do expect it to drop off slightly in the summer just because, people like to be outside and my products are predominantly used indoors. But again, it's been robust for the first 3 months and everything that surrounds my industry in terms of trends and people using the products has been very steadily increasing. So again, we'll just have to see where it goes. I don't have a crystal ball.
Do you have any plans to hit up trade shows or industry niche niche meetups of any kind?
Yeah, so first trade show is coming up here in the next 60 days. So very excited about that. It's going to be great to meet a lot of these folks that I spend, the majority of my life chatting with now via email, placing orders and talking about their products. So I do think that's a really critical component that people should do is just go meet these people and put your face out there, shake people's hand, and touch these products, opposed to just drop shipping them. I think that it's going to allow you to tell the story much better and just come across as more of an expert, whether it's on the phone, on chat, on text.
Awesome. Well, that's all I had for today, man. First of all, congratulations. You've absolutely crushed it. Obviously, the programs helped you in some way, but I think your success is due to your mindset, your work ethic, and even already putting your own spin on things, which is super cool for me to see because I think ultimately any person who's going to really succeed at a super high level, they have to be able to do those things themselves because no one's path is going to be exactly the same. There's certain intricacies and unique aspects and advantages that every person has, and you have to use those on your own journey. But you've taken the system and absolutely crushed it. So amazing job. I'm super excited to see what's in store for 2024 and beyond.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it, Brooke.
Of course, man. I will end the recording and we can stay on quick.
Perfect.